Welcome everybody, it's Unstoppable Slutzy here, and indeed we were able to get a second 1 versus 1 between Codefender and Nathan today. Here we are. We got Codefender as Ottomans and Nathan as the Maori. So we got a Polynesian civ against a European. This is going to be a tough one for Nathan though. He kind of has to bring his A game here. The biggest threat is the Safahi shipment to the Ottomans. That would be like my biggest concern right now. Another possible threat, Janissary Abbas gun composition, that could also be dangerous, since as you know, Jan Abbas is one of the best compositions in not only Wars of Liberty, but also the 5th edition too. Yeah, we saw that a lot during the PK tournament. You know, people would construct a barracks, build a artillery foundry, go Janissary Abbas as the Ottomans. Very dangerous combination, so that'd be my first concern if you're Nathan. Second one, that Ottoman gets the Fortress Age and starts shipping in Safahis. Or even that new mercenary from Arabia, that Shamar Dabet one. That could also be dangerous. So we'll have to see what happens here exactly. Maori, being a Polynesian civ, plays a lot different than most civs that you probably know about. Basically, they don't have town centers. They get these big giant fortresses called pas. And how they work is they kind of do everything for you. They provide all your pop space so that your civ doesn't actually have houses. They can trickle food. They produce infantry as well as villagers. They receive your shipments. They can get some powerful techs to fortify their hit points and attack. Yeah, no, this pa is basically where your whole colony is, basically. Yeah. Also, Maori can train troops in blocks of 10, so they kind of have the Japanese isolation Bushido principles tech as part of their civ bonus. Yeah, so they can train units up very quickly. They also get this cool bonus for when they kill enemy units. Their nearby units gain like an attack boost, so that they make the killing of further units easier, basically, so it's very powerful in that sense. Also, since you're Polynesian, you don't have a normal age-up system. You actually need your explorer here to go on what's called a voyage to a nearby land, which looks like he's doing right now. Unfortunately, because we're not in like the record game view, we don't know what voyage it is. Maybe it'll tell us. Let's see. Nope, it doesn't tell us, but we'll find out. Normally, you want to go New South Wales first, which is the medium one, the one that costs or the moderate resources and takes the moderate age up time, and then go with the quicker, cheaper South Island voyage after that, for as part of like a quick, fast fortress. Yes, oh my god. What do you mean, oh my god? What happened? Oh my god, what happened? Let's get a Cherokee Rifleman. That's pretty good. Why are you saying oh my god for, though? It's like so weird. You built church? He built the he built the mosque right there. Yeah. You should try to build a mosque in Wars of Liberty if you can, as Ottomans. Because here's the thing. The mosque in Wars of Liberty has the same benefits as the mosque in the 5th edition, where you actually get an XP trickle by building it of about, I think, 0.5 XP per second. So it is, exactly, Codefender. It's an opening build for the Ottomans in both Wars of Liberty and in the 5th edition. Building a mosque is just such a smart idea. Gives you an XP trickle, plus once you need those inevitable technologies later, like the ones that improve the free spawn rate of your villagers and the ones that increase their build limit, you're going to need that mosque. So getting a mosque early is pretty much baked into the Ottoman build order. Yeah. Opening barracks, Janissaries obviously for Ottoman player. Nathan is getting a secondary pa. I just told you that Maori don't get houses, so if you run out of pop space, you gotta build more of these things. You don't get a lot of them though. They kind of have a build limit similar to town centers, basically. And the way you get more pop, number one, obviously build more of them. Number two, there are technologies at the pa that increase their the pop capacity that they hold. So they sort of start out, I think, at like 15 or something. And eventually, I think you can bring them up to like 30 something, maybe a bit bigger than that. And it's good in some ways and bad in other ways, right? Because obviously these things cost about 300 wood. So actually about the same cost as an artillery foundry, which at the start of the game is going to be a pain in the neck. But later on, it means that you have to engage in a lot less building because you don't have to worry about click, 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 house, 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 casa, casa, casa. You don't have to do that. You just focus on one big primary structure and then you're all set. So yeah, that's basically pretty good for you in general. And I'm trying to look here and look at the decks too. So what kind of deck are we seeing with Armin? I mean, most of the Armin decks are pretty normal-ish. Okay, so you got a bit of H2 gameplay, but a lot of Fortress Age. Even has his Akemi Ogwin school to cheapen the Janissaries. This is the mercenary I'm talking about, the Shamali Dabet. These are basically a new assault-based cavalry that has a charge attack, where it effectively does like double its hand attack damage on its first attack, doing a lot of damage. And then after, I think, like a 60-second or so cooldown, it can do another one. Maybe even be a bit quicker than that, I think. It's basically a mercenary version of the Saudi Arabian Felice cavalry, which will soon become like a staple assault cavalry for all the Arabic Middle East civs going forward. So, yeah, it's kind of a play on that concept. Nathan gets a training grounds here to produce his infantry units. You can either make the Spearman for killing Cav. The fighters are basically your sort of coyote runner type units for ripping apart skirms. And then you get the marksmen, which are basically your slingers to fight muskets with. He starts with a batch of spearmen. And he's probably going to go for a push of some kind with spearmen and marksmen and fighters in a well-oriented comp. Obviously, spearmen will do very poorly against Janissaries since they are, a musket with hand armor and stuff. That's a lot of spearmen, man. Yeah, well, I know why he's doing it. He's doing it to basically be able to siege his structures. But he's going to have to back these up with marksmen. If he doesn't do that, good luck to you, man. It's good knowing you. Yeah, and just so I kind of point this out again, if you were, to whatever reason, lose your training grounds, you can train your infantry up at the pause as well. That's one of the cool things about these big fortified structures is they can act as a makeshift barracks too. The main reason why you want to build a training grounds as Maori is not so much that you can train the units, but you can effectively upgrade the units, right? Because this is the building where you train and upgrade them. If you just have the pause, you won't be able to upgrade them if you go later in the game, so you kind of are forced to build a training grounds at some point so their units don't become stagnant. It all depends on your playstyle, and obviously having a training grounds early means that you can resume villager queues uninterrupted from your pause structures, right? Instead of having to wait for them to complete army batches. Okay, so how many Jans are we looking at? We're looking at a pretty hefty stack plus 3 delis. So hand cav with an army of Janissaries, plus that one Cherokee that Codefender was able to collect. Spearmen are going to make a move down here now. Spearmen usually move faster than muskets, so they'll actually reach down here quicker, even if Codefender tries to retreat. Yeah, see, this is the thing. Nathan's going to come right through and start sieging stuff right away. That's his game plan. The Ottoman player's like, you know what? I'm just going to wipe your base out since you're in mine. And you got no defenses. Now, I don't see Nathan going for any coin to make marksmen, though. So I'm a little concerned for him. This is crazy. Like, he's going right after his town center. He's going to go right for the jugular there. Look at that. I mean, you probably should if you're going for a gambit like that, but still. No defense at home? No defense at home? Oh, he's retreating. See, this is where I think it fails a bit. I wouldn't go home. I would just siege him out and, push him. Because now you're going to retreat home and you're already going to have a TC down. And Nathan's still going to be training villagers back in his base. And he's economically gaining over you because he's still growing economy and you're stagnating the economy because now you can't get any more villagers. So, some food for thought there, Now, and it would be even worse, actually, if Nathan somehow escapes with these spearmen. Because now he's got a full army of spearmen. He can strike you again. He's got a growing economy while yours is holding back. And eventually the wealth and ability of these Janissaries won't matter anymore on the field, because you'll just outnumber them with marksmen. Oh, he's going after all the houses, going after the market. He might not have any infrastructure left. Okay, the Janissaries are arriving. I guarantee you this house will go down. Yeah, he's raising the entire town here. Oh man, crazy. Yeah, that mosque is going down too. Oh no, the mosque survives. That's the last sign of civilization for Codefender's base. Some of the spearmen do indeed escape. Even these dudes in the back escape. I think you want to maybe shoot this one at least. Save face, I guess. And a spearman still sneaks around. He should have just stayed and just finished that off. Just as a troll move to distract his opponent, but that's fine. He got the job done they needed to. Nathan is now going to get a second training grounds, so he can effectively get 20 units per batch now instead of 10. If 10 wasn't bad enough, now I can queue up like 20 units at the same time between both of these structures, since Maori essentially has Bushido principles already baked into their civ, and they can get units in blocks of 10. Spearmen are, at this point, I think are just distracting him. He's just stalling himself time. He's Joseph stalling himself some time right now. Look at this. Just going back and forth, keeping his eye on the ball, trying to get his spearmen. He's going to distract him by sieging the moss now, the last building Codefender has on the map. And then he just pulls out and just runs around. You know, this is what makes hand infantry pretty dangerous. You know, they have a movement speed of 5 typically, and then the heavy infantry like the Janissaries will only have like a movement speed of like 4. So yeah, the muskets will be basically just trying to trail behind these spearmen while they're just running away and getting away with siege. Okay, so it looks like Codefender does actually try to fight him with the delis in his base and maybe clean up some of his vills. But Nathan gets in a fortress age to Tasmania, the Tasmania voyage, which gave him some bush ranges there that obviously acted as a bit of a distraction. They're all dead now, but now Nathan has another batch of spearmen that he can now run at these delis and wipe them out. Yeah, the delis compared to hussars are a bit tankier, but they have less hand attack, I believe, and they won't be able to deal with this little batch of spearmen. No. And as I said before, once one of the horses dies, the other spearmen will get a brief attack boost to kill the other ones as part of the Maori civ bonus. Yeah, Maori are really good at like aggression. They can get lots of troops out quickly with the 10 units per batch thing. And plus, once they start getting their kills, all the other troops will start gaining more attack. And I think it stacks to approximately 10 to 15 times, too. So, if you like wipe out 10 to 15 units really quickly, the spike in attack is even greater, if you can pull that off. Yeah, most definitely. It's quite good, actually. I know, I mean, at least he got his 2C back. That's good. He can resume Vill production. What does he have for cards, by the way? This will make a big difference as well. He only has one. Oh, he got to Fortress Age too with another town center. That's good. That makes it a much more competitive situation, because I was like, if Oddman player was still in Age 2 in this situation, it would have been toast. He would have been Texas toast. But because he's in Fortress Age now we get back to my first point about the weaknesses of Maori against the Fortress Age Ottomans. The biggest threat's going to be the Safahi shipments, right? And does he have a hunt nearby? He does not. Okay, he's in this one. He might be able to grab this bison here too, because Safahi shipments cost food, so he's going to have to secure some hunts rather quickly. Get the Safahi out. He could use his gold to get these ones first, though, the Shamari Dabets, the ones, again, that have the charge attack. And the reason why that's bad for Maori is because they don't have any dragoons. Right, but at the same time, looks like Nathan is mostly spamming spearmen, so he might be able to make up for the lack of dragoons just by spamming spearmen in such a large volume like that. Yeah, and not only that, he's just upgraded them to the Tehedawah spearmen. The Tehedawah spearmen is one of the possible upgrade paths that you get with the Maori that makes their Spearman have a splash attack, effectively allowing them to damage multiple units at the same time within a close proximity of each other. Yeah, with Polynesian civs, their upgrades are a bit different. Instead of just Veteran, Guard, Imperial, you get 2 upgrade paths with different weapons in like the Fortress Age. So you can either get a Tehedawah Spearman, which has splash attack, or you can get the Tao Spearman, almost like Tao, like the religion in China, the Taoists, that gives them more range, so they shoot out farther with their spears. And yeah, it leads to different pros and cons on either side. But yeah, in general, without a lot of substantial army, Tehedawah Spearmen are a serious threat right now. Okay, so Codefender does get his Falconet shipment, now called Foot Artillery in War's Liberty, alongside these Janissaries, and he should be able to defend. I hope he gets to that bottleneck. If he can fight at this bottleneck here, prevent swarming on all sides and flanking, that's going to allow these artillery to survive a lot quicker. Oh no, we kind of idled a bit there. Now the Falconets are right under the Spearmen. I don't like this. I don't like this at all for you. Not at all. The Falconets are surviving. This one in particular survived a bit and got some shots in. Made a bit of a difference. Yeah, see, this is the problem though. Now that these Tehedawah Spearmen again, all these fresh kills, now their attack's going up to about like 14 at this point, giving them a lot more of a damage advantage here. But that being said, Janissaries, one of the highest HP musketeers in the game to start out with. They have a lot of HP to tank this sort of thing, plus their hand armor. Yeah, if any musketeer is going to survive a spear swarm like this, it's going to be Janissaries, because they have both the hand armor and HP to just like have those spear attacks just roll off of them, basically. And it looks like that's sort of happening, but watch out. It looks like Nathan has also gone his Tupara marksman too. That's kind of an interesting choice, because most players for Maori will go with the Porokumu marksman, because they have a 20, they're basically a 20 range rifle unit. So you take your marksman slingers and you can either upgrade them into Porokumus, which are like your standard 20 range skirm that you're probably used to, or you can turn them into the Tuparas, which have a range similar to a crossbowman. Well, I don't think they even gain any range advantage at all over the sling-based marksman, but what they get is a short-range shotgun-type blast that if you shoot from a very, very point-blank range, they'll actually do extra damage and area of effect damage, too. And maybe even more multipliers, if I remember correctly. Does he have any of those to examine? Yeah, alright, so the short-range attack doesn't have any more multipliers, but it does do more damage. Like, look, the standard range attack, 24. The shotgun style blast is 42 damage plus 2 splash. It's brutal. But you have to do it from like point blank range of like 8 range. So theoretically, if he can get up and close and personal with these Tuparas, he can actually do some really nasty damage to these Janissaries. And the good news is, too, is these marksmen actually have a better movement speed than the Janissaries. They move about 4.5 versus just 4 movement speed. So they can actually get close and personal and deliver some pretty deadly blows if they get really close. Yeah. When I was first playing Maori when they were released, right around the time I graduated university, I was a big fan of the Tuparas because I always liked to get them up super close and personal in my enemy's face and get splash attack. And then I sort of mellowed out and became more of a Porokumu fan because it was a lot less work and led to more consistency. But yeah, if he can make it work, get these up and close, he might be able to pull something off. But watch out. The Dabets are out. The Dabets are here. The Arabic Shamar-based mercenary cavies. They're essentially an assault cavalry, so they're basically a hand cav that has hand armor. They do a charge attack, which is about 140 damage. So that's like over double their hand attack of 62. That's a lot of damage, you know. I don't even think Flexio could fix that. I mean, certain troops, like these marksmen, will die instantly in one hit of that. Also, looks like Nathan just got more to head with Spearman. He also shipped in a batch of redcoats, too, called Igglers. They're just redcoats. They're basically very specialized muskets that have extra melee multipliers against cavalry, plus some pretty decent range stats as well, so they're pretty tough. But it looks like Nathan got through the big boy fast industrial shipment there. It also gives you 2 rockets as well. Yeah, thankfully for Nathan, rockets were reworked to be sort of like a mortar culverin hybrid, so they're more good against buildings and artillery than units. Not to say that they won't devastate the units either because of the crush damage and the splash, but yeah, they'll be a bit more milder than they would have been in a previous patch when they were like heavy artillery. Yeah, these rockets will mostly be used for ripping apart Codefender's buildings, whereas the Tupara marksmen, the redcoats, and the headwoods are going to do all the heavy lifting in terms of combat. Oh, and he just picked up the Brave Tupara marksman upgrade too, man. Wow. Okay, so that's how we got so many stats. I thought that was just a regular Tupara upgrade. He got the Brave upgrade. Yeah, even after you reach Industrial and Imperial Age, the branching structures for upgrades continues basically. So you can either go with the Brave upgrade or the I think the Guard upgrade or Protector upgrade or something. You get one that gives you more hit points, and a little bit less damage, and then the other one's vice versa. Essentially, by going with the Brave Tupara marksman, his skirmishers ended up getting like 40% damage, but only 20% HP. So they die a bit quicker, but they do a ton more damage than if you go with like a standard European upgrade per se. Codefender gets a foundry and he gets 5 full falconets here. He's going to obliterate this whole line of units. But unfortunately, he's got rockets firing at him now. Rockets whip out 1 falconet. And they're going to grind his falconets down one by one, too. So the longer the battle goes here for Nathan, the more falconets he can conceivably get rid of. He's going to get another one down here. He actually gets 2 of them in one fell swoop. Can he do that again? Gets another one. He's going to get another one, too. Okay, so he's doing pretty good here. But he's missing the micro on the last falconet. Thankfully, though, he's got the Huera fighters here that might be able to do that for him. Yeah, the Huera fighters will take care of it. Okay, there you go. Good. Alright, see now, basically, he's got Huera fighters, Tuparas, and he's got his redcoats here. It looks like Nathan has won this battle. Is that right? He tried to use his Vils to take out the rockets, which he successfully did, but now his Vils are going to get killed. He's going to lose all these Vils now. Look at the score discrepancy. It's like almost 50 points apart at this point. He also got the Brave upgrade on the Huera fighters too, so now, while their HP is a little bit less because it's only a 20% buff and a 30% one, his attack's a greater one because he essentially got a 40% damage upgrade on his melee. This is going to allow him to eat into other units a lot easier now, and obviously as he kills units, the damage stacks up, right? Because now, look at how tough this is. These units are doing a hand attack of like 30 to 31 with splash. It's brutal. And now he can turn around and attack these falconets. Yep, he's going to start splashing those now. Crazy. That was a good battle there. I like that one. A lot of twists and turns. I couldn't know where you were. Oh, so it's like playing whack-a-mole, you say? I guess so. Yeah. Otherwise, it would have been in your base in H2. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Like, I thought Nathan Codefender was going to nip this in the bud with his Janissaries early on. So this was RNG's Christ the Lord and Savior looking down on Nathan and saying, you're going to win this game for Maori because Maori are a poop sieve and you have a chance of making them go better on the tier list, like letting them win, so I'm going to let you stay hidden, brother. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, he was like a little ninja there with the Spearman at the start, and then he just followed up with strong Fortress Age and Industrial Age comebacks. Yeah. So yeah, that was a good battle. So yeah, thank you for looking at this little recording with me. It was pretty fun. Here's the post game stuff if you're wondering. And hopefully we'll get to do another one. If not, then enjoy this one and the previous one I did too. If you haven't seen the one on Wadmallow, I would check that one out as well. That one was pretty good. It was a lot shorter, but it was a good introduction to the Austro-Hungary Civ and the French, at least partially. It was an interesting battle. All right, see you wherever I am next.